Travels by Broomstick comes to you from South Wales, the land of the dragon. Oh, and sheep. We got lots of sheep. Welcome to all you good people out there in podcast land. So, let's get the broomstick out the garage, and off we go.
The Disney movie The Lion King is one of my all-time favourites, with little lion cub Simba who must embrace his role as the rightful king of the Pride Lands in Africa after the murder of his father Mufasa, and the adventures that he has with a meerkat named Timon and a warthog named Pumbaa as they live their life to the carefree motto Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata! What a wonderful phrase!
But did you know that a lion named Simba actually existed? That he was a film star and a Guinness World Record holder?
Today's journey takes us to the pumping station and antique shop in Penallta Road in Cardiff, South Wales, UK. The pumping station was once a Victorian water pumping station that supplied Cardiff with its water. Today it is a Grade 2 listed building, home to many independent antique traders selling a wide range of antiques such as old jewellery, paintings, vinyl records, fancy tea sets, movie memorabilia, and furnishings and collectible toys. There is also a tarot card reader and a cafe. But we are here to see the famous taxidermy lion, the namesake for Disney's beloved king of the jungle, the lion named Simba.
Nick Nyoka was born in Stockton, England in 1921. His real name was Adrian Darley. He grew up in the circus and decided to become a member of the most dangerous of all professions, a wild animal trainer. Nick absolutely loved animals, and he had the patience, courage and confidence that it took to care for and train the many different animals that he worked with. He travelled all over the world to exotic places such as Africa, India, Malaya and South America to catch wild animals and reptiles. It was on a safari to the Serengeti Plain in 1959 that Nick captured a 6-month-old lion cub and named him Simba, which is Swahili for lion. Simba was a beautiful black-maned lion, and he soon became the star attraction in the Sandown Zoo in the Isle of Wight, where Nick worked. But Nick was allegedly asked to leave the zoo when Simba ate the owner's pet chihuahua when it accidentally wandered into the lion enclosure. Nick then moved on to Colchester Zoo. He spent some time there and then moved to Knaresborough Zoo, although Nick managed and ran many different animal shows throughout England with his many different animals. But Simba was always the star. Simba appeared on television and in movies. Most notably, he starred alongside Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton and Rex Harrison in the 1963 movie Cleopatra. Simba also featured in the Guinness Book of World Records. He was the largest lion in the world. At 5 years of age, he weighed 826 pounds and had the shoulder height of 44 inches. While at Knaresborough Zoo, Nick lived with his wife Barbara and their son named Leo. It was said that people who lived near the zoo could hear Simba's great roar in the early mornings and the late evenings. Knaresborough Zoo was popular with both the local residents and tourists, with many people flocking to see Simba the lion. Another famous animal at Knaresborough Zoo was Nick's python named Cassius. He was also featured in the Guinness Book of World Records, weighing 220 pounds and measuring 27 foot 4 inches in length. He was the largest python in captivity at the time. Nick's pseudonym, Nick Nyoka, is actually Swahili for snake. He had a great passion for them. Simba the lion was loved by all who met him, and there were many reports of children being allowed to pet him, and that he would walk around on a large lead. On January the 16th, 1973, Simba sadly died at the age of 14, but there is a mystery regarding what happened to Simba's body. Some people claim that Simba was buried at Knaresborough Zoo, other people say that Simba was stuffed and his taxidermy remains were on display at Knaresborough Zoo. In its heyday, over 40,000 people visited the zoo each summer. But in the 1980s, attendance figures began to fall and debts began to rise. But Nick wasn't going to give up. He loved his animals and devoted his energy into building up his reptile collection. He was a leading expert in the field. But in December 1984, inspectors of the Secretary of State for the Environment recommended that the zoo would be refused a license. as it could not meet the legislation imposed by the Zoo's Licensing Act. The zoo was a ramshackle place unsafe for the people and the captive animals, and therefore would have to close. Arrangements were made to rehome the animals, and the zoo closed its doors on the 13th of January 1986. Nick loved his animals and he was completely heartbroken. He was said to have hated any form of animal cruelty and never used whips, sticks, or anything of that kind to train his animals. He cared for them as best he could with the resources available at the time. Nick Nyoka died in 1996 at the age of 75, but the whereabouts of Simba the lion is still a mystery. The last time we visited the pumping station, there was a taxidermy lion in a glass cabinet that is said to be Simba, Nick Nyoka's famous lion. Could it have been the taxidermy lion from Knaresborough? Did Nick sell Simba the lion to an antique dealer which brought him all the way to Cardiff? And now the mystery deepens, as on a more recent visit we found that his cabinet was completely empty. There was no sign of the beautiful Simba. So where can he be? Was he sold to a private collector? Will we ever see this legend of a lion ever again? No matter where Simba is now, we are just glad that he's being remembered. So there's only one more question left to ask, and that is, how many brooms do you give the pumping station in Cardiff?
Well, I'm going to give the pumping station in Cardiff 2.5 brooms, mainly because Simba's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for antiques, but not for lions.
No, they're lying to us.
Do you believe that the taxidermy lion which was there was the real Simba?
Well, allegedly it was. I've got no information to the contrary, so we'll run with that.
And what do you think's happened to Simba?
I think he's gone to the Serengeti.
In the sky.
In the sky.
Yeah. So have you seen the Disney movie The Lion King? And did you know that Disney named Simba, the lion from The Lion King, after Nick Nyoka's Simba?
Yes, I have seen The Lion King, and I enjoyed it. And no, I didn't know that about Simba.
Neither did I. I learned something new too today.
Every day's a learning day. Well, that concludes our visit to the pumping station in Cardiff. We hope you've had a magical time.
Wow.